All right, good evening, everybody. Big happy ups to everybody. Certainly hope everybody had a good, safe 4th of July weekend. Everybody came back with the same amount of fingers and toes, and she had a good time. I did. Being off Friday, I was able to get a lot of stuff done on Friday. And then Saturday, which felt like my body was telling me was Sunday, but I was able to remind myself 2 or 3 times. And but what else is going on, people? Gonna go see Superman tomorrow night. Got an early ticket. Shout out to my T3 Media's Chris. He said it's a good movie. And we got the same taste, so I'm excited about it. Apparently, it's a homage. If you saw the Superman back in 1978 with Christopher Reeve, rest in peace to Christopher Reeve, it's an homage to that. No spoilers, so we're going to just go ahead and go past that. But certainly hope you all go support the superhero genre. I know I like it. I'm going to still go see Fantastic Four. That comes out, I think in 2 more weeks. Also, this week in gaming, we got, I think the college football game, does it come out either, is it Thursday or Friday or something like that? I think somebody can double check that. That'd be cool. But I plan on buying it. I just started my 6th or 7th season. I won 3 out of 4 natties. So, I won 3 out of 4 of the natty. And the one I won last season was the easiest one with that offense I had. I had the number 1 receiver. They had to keep double teaming him. I threw the ball a ton to the other side of the field. And my number 1 receiver, of course, he being number 1, he broke one off, He busted loose a couple times. So ended up winning that game. Was up at halftime 38-9. And just one going away. Put the subs in the entire second half until the final 2 minutes and put the starters back in so they could be out there on the field celebrating. But enough about me. What are you all playing? I'm also playing Death Stranding. I've done the first mission, then the Lou mission, which is just the second mission. I think it's called Lou. I did that mission, and then I joined that boat thingy, the submarine. I think he called it the submarine. So I'm on that now. So no spoilers, but I can't remember if that's Act 3. So I'm on Act 3. And the game is crazy. Best looking game I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of decent games on PC as well. This is the best looking game ever made. Not here to say it's the best game. Here to say it's the best looking game. That's my opinion. I mean, I had to put it past Mass Effect, and you all know I hate doing that. But very, very good time on that game. It is people have asked me to stream it. It's just not a good game to stream because there's a lot of strategy going on. You can't talk to your audience. So, but rest assured, you all that have access to my, whatever it's called, I don't know what the thing is called, but you all can see my trophies, the trophy list and that I'm playing the game and how many hours I've spent on the game. So just, check it out if you want. And I played it for about an hour the first time because I was struggling trying to build routes. It's like you got to do this weird thing to build routes instead of just you hitting the square button and pulling your route that you want to take this up and then letting it go. You have to reel it up. Then I think hit the button again. It's just weird. So it's weird. So, but yeah, I mean, needless to say, it is what it is. It's fun. So I'm enjoying it. And so the 3-day weekend, that's what I spent a lot of time on. A little bit on Assassin's Creed Shadows. And then I've spent a lot of time on Death Stranding too. Like 4 hours. 4 hours Friday, I think. 4 hours Saturday. Or maybe 6 hours Saturday. I got a long play in there. It was long. So, but shout out to you all for being here. So we'll go ahead and get into the stories. I want to start. This is not going to be a long podcast. Like I said, 60 frame, no lag. It's literally going to start in under 2 hours. So we moving it over there. Make sure you all go sub to Extreme and Brain. I don't know if the Brain has a channel. Ghost in is it Ghost in the Shell? Ghost in the Garage over there. J-Dub. Myself, P-Rock. And so we'll go ahead and start with the latest batch of rumors. And this is why I don't report on rumors. You should always wait till you have two sources before you go public with something. And this whole thing about Game Pass losing money, and because people are thirsty online, this really came back to bite a lot of people in their tush, in their butts, in their asses. Okay. If Game Pass wasn't making money, that when they had their shareholders meeting, that would have been the first thing up out of their mouth. So, and also, we don't know what metric Microsoft is using to determine what they deem as making money. I mean, it can be a totally different thing. And this is why I've said before, people want to run with the first thing they had, and a lot of people got burned. Let's call some names. MBG got burned. Now he manned up and took his L. But a lot of people told you all that Game Pass ain't making no money. It's like, well, can we at least wait for Microsoft to say that? That's why I didn't talk about it. People email me. I'm like, yeah, it's a rumor. I ain't gonna talk about it until Microsoft says something, which I've always said. It's not true unless the company says it's true. Then it's just a rumor and a lie. And now that people got that AI, what's it called? Gronk or what is it called? Gronk or GR? It's something you can use on Twitter. GRNG or it's something like that. You can just ask it. And it clearly stated that, I asked that when I got home today. And it was like, nah, Microsoft has come out and said it is making money. Now, we don't know how much. It may only make $350, but they're counting that it's making a profit for them, and that's all they needed to do. Now, could it make more money? Of course, that's why they differentiated it into different steps. Into you have this level, you have another level, and then that way they can try to get more money out of people, which is fine. Sony does the same thing with the ultimate level that allows you to play trials and things like that. Gives you more stuff to do, gives you access to more. And I don't think the mid level of it lets you do that. I'm not 100% sure, but just so you know. But that's why Microsoft has done this. So all these people that came out and reported it, they was wrong. Plain, that's it. They were wrong. And I don't know if your favorite YouTuber did it. Not sure. But because I don't watch him. But I know MBG, he got caught up in that. And so to his credit, he went on Twitter and he took his L like a man. So, and that's all we can ask people to do, right? But I would try to stay away. This is just, again, I want to make this clear. This is why I stay away from rumors. I'm not going to tell people not on what they're going to do in their podcast, but you're looking at the fact. You're looking at the fact that a lot of people, it's not in their best interest. Like people said, people aren't online to be correct. They're online to be first. Not correct, but they're there to be first. And as long as you have that mentality, you can have people get caught up in stuff, and that's exactly what happened here. And so then you see all the people coming out defending it. Like I said before, I just wouldn't have said nothing until Microsoft said it. There's nothing to talk about. So there's nothing to talk about. So it is what it is. And a lot of people that you all follow, your favorite podcasters, those guys took an L because they ran with the first thing that was said. And when you're dealing with money, when you're dealing with revenues, you need to listen to the actual company and not what some rinky-dink guy on Twitter said. Because within 20 hours, he was backing off of what he said. So, it is what it is. You can believe they're still losing money. I'm not here to twist your arm, but you have a direct statement from the company. And again, to some people, it won't matter. I want to make this clear. To some people, it will not matter. They got their minds made up. Game Pass is trash. It's detrimental. Yes. That's why Optimus Code, rest in peace, told me two things can be right at the same time. Now, have you gotten multiple developers coming out saying that Game Pass is hurtful to the bottom line yes, that is true. But it also could be true if you, it also can be true, I'm sorry, that it is making money. Okay, we don't know the profit margin of it. It is what it is, right? All right, so now we'll move to our next story. Go ahead and leave a comment if you want to on that. Like I said, I'm not going to be here super long, trying to eat my noodles and drink some sugar-free Gatorade, so I can get ready for 60 frames, no lag. And then, so we'll move to our next story, which I want to try to put this up on the screen. Yay! Let me go ahead and find it again. And let me click that there. Okay. There we go. So I'm sure you all figured out what's coming next, which is the Ghost of YOTEI that has been, as we were told last month. So this is not huge breaking news. Ghost of YOTEI, they're having their state of play, which is a deep dive. It's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes on how this game plays and what you can expect, and little added things. I think there's going to be DLC coming with it shortly afterwards. Don't know if it's real or not, but we're gonna find out. We'll find out on Thursday, won't we? So, but I was told there could be possible DLC coming before the holidays. So, but again, they're doing it at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's my time zone. I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Central Kentucky, so that's our time zone. Central Kentucky, Louisville. You go to Western Kentucky, you get into the Central time zone. So. But we're in the Eastern time zone here, so it'll be 5 o'clock Thursday. It says, prepare for a closer look at Sucker Punch's upcoming open world adventure, launching October 2nd. So that date is still sticking. Since we're less than 100 days from the launch of Ghost of YOTEI. This, again, this is Sony's first party game. It's a first party studio. Remember, Death Stranding is not a Sony first party studio. Sony published it to their studio. All right, Sony's published it to their console. And because Sony has the marketing deal, what does Sony get to do? Sony gets to market the game. They get to put everything out there. That's why, we didn't get a Death Stranding 2 faceplate or console. We didn't get that. I think, did we even get a controller? I can't remember. But remember, Death Stranding. We didn't get Death Stranding controller or maybe we did, or Death Stranding console is what I meant to say. See, we didn't get that this time. So this is a different marketing ploy. Sony's marketing is the engine, is a proprietary engine by Sony, which I think is phenomenal. Like I said, it's the best looking game I've ever seen. It's photorealistic all the way around. And just a beautiful game to look at. And man, I wish Sony would work something out with Elon Musk so we could post pictures again. That would just be so cool. Hopefully, they can work something out so that everybody can do it. I can do it on my PC. I had no problem posting pictures on my PC. But for some reason, and again, I'm not sure how to do the whole screenshot thing. But it's cool. It's cool. But for all you all interested in this game, and this was announced last month, I believe it was last month. So here's your state of play, and this is their kind of summary thing, and then we'll go into the fall. And Sony getting out of the way of the college football game and of Madden and the Mafia game. And there's a ton of games coming out between July 11th and October 2nd. There's just a whole lot coming. Madden, they're trying to get ahead of all of it. And so this is why they're dropping it right now, because normally state of plays are at the end of the month. So shout out to Sony for doing this on a Thursday. We've been great to do it Friday. I wish they had done it last Thursday, the 3rd, because then everybody was off the next day. But it just says here you can watch it on PlayStation's stream on Twitch or YouTube channels. And certainly hope it says they're going to have 20 minutes of Eitsu's quest for vengeance. We're excited to show off her new weapons, new ways to personalize your journey at the edge of Japan, and special modes, and much more. So again, it's going to be interesting because I thought Assassin's Creed Shadows did a really good job with that female character with the 3 types of weapons she can use. So let's see what this girl can do. And there's going to be inevitable comparisons between the two. You all just better get ready for that. I'm not going to participate in it, but you always got those suckers that do, and just got to watch who you listening to. You got people out there saying that port begging worked, even though we all know that when Sean Layden went on Personas and Jay Barry's podcast, Sean Layden said that Sony's own developers, the heads of their studio, were coming up to him asking him how come they're not putting games on PC. Like, is there a reason? And finally, they beat him down, and he finally said, I don't know, they're going to break his legs, whatever you kids say. They were going to break his legs, and he finally capitulated. And you had people out there like J-Tech saying, well, they should have capitulated. Then they went on above his head. Like I said, man, y'all got some real homosexuals in your space, man. I don't know how you listen to them. Shout out to everybody that does. Shout out. But people are out here saying some soft ass shit, and just y'all better be mindful who you sell your souls to, okay? Because make no mistake about it, when we're online and we're trying to talk to you guys, there is a controller, okay. You're giving your soul when you're sitting down talking to you guys, so just understand you better pay attention on who you give your soul to when you're listening to us, okay? Just be careful. I ain't gonna tell you who to listen to. But that is some trash. I mean, we know for a fact Sean Layden said his own developers wanted to start releasing games on PC. That's the end of the story. That's it. There is nothing more to talk about. Now, because there are people out there who don't want Sony to do it, they're trying to use it as a slam card on Sony. Again, even the whole thing with Helldivers 2. The whole thing with Helldivers 2 is Sony went to Arrowhead. It is Arrowhead who made that game. Arrowhead made the game. Arrowhead is not owned by Sony. Arrowhead and they struck a deal. Arrowhead, because they have a good relationship with Sony, said, hey, can you all port this game over to Xbox with your port studio, which is Nixxes. All right? Which is Nixxes, which if you don't know, just to bring up J-Tech again, when Sony was buying the studios, when Nixxes joined the family, he was one of the first ones to put up the whole welcome to the family. Whatever that thing says, welcome to PlayStation. He was one of the first ones who done it. So, and again, he was trying to use it, in my opinion, let me make sure I'm not speaking for none of you all, my opinion, he was wanting to use it as a slam card because the guy is in his 30s and he's still console worn. I mean, it is fucked up what a lot of these people are doing. Just be careful. Just be careful. All right? I ain't going to tell people who to listen to, but goddamn. Damn. Be careful. Okay? You know, just be careful. He ain't going to change. I mean, these guys aren't going to change because they built. Just imagine waking up and saying, okay, I built something based on this. And now everybody has moved to X, Y, and Z. They've moved away from this. So just, again, I don't care that Sony is putting games on PC. Like, I don't care. I never was 100% against it. I'm like, well, as long as they give their console the space it needs to help push more consoles, which they've already talked about and they've already said, right? That's why when I saw people getting upset about Helldivers 2, it's like, didn't you all just listen to what they just said about a week and a half ago? You know, it's stupid. And I did listen. Let me add this, because I did listen to this podcast. I listened to Sick Humor's podcast the other day. It had Jay Barry on there, and it had Corey Massey on there. And I agreed with Corey Massey because Sony does not care that you're complaining. Like, they don't care that you're complaining. There was a great movie that came out years ago called Straight Outta Compton. And when NWA was driving into Detroit, I've said this before, these people were standing on the bridges, throwing their albums at them. They were burning their albums. And Eazy-E literally looked out the window and MC Ren was like, damn, bro, don't this bother you? And Eazy-E said, nope. They bought those albums. They can do whatever they want because we got paid. And that's the way Sony literally is a for-profit company. Their job is to make a product and then sell it to the consumers. That's what Sony does. So, and a lot of these guys, you got to understand, they bared their souls when they were upset about Sony's live service thing. All right, they were upset about that because you got people saying them doing the whole live service push is taking away from their gameplay. Well, I'm looking at Ghost of YOTEI. That's coming out this year. Then it comes back to, well, they're making online games that I don't want. But you were bragging about the studios when they bought the studios. I'm like, hey, look, in Sony's DNA, these guys claim they know Sony. Sony's own DNA is to create something inside out. They don't go outside in. That's what Western developers do. That's what Microsoft did, right? They didn't create the games. They bought the publishers. They bought Bethesda. They didn't create Fallout. They bought Activision. They didn't create Call of Duty. So now, again, that's a Western studio philosophy. The Eastern studio philosophy, or the Eastern philosophy, if you study Eastern culture, and I assume you have, they do everything inside out. So they're going to do it, building it ground up. Sony could have bought Panasonic cameras, but Sony created their own camera that was going to be better than Panasonic. That's how Sony does things. Sony could have joined forces with AT&T and pushed AT&T's phones. That Sony could have done that, but they didn't do that. Sony created their own phone. Now you can argue whether the phone is good, or that's argumentative, but you can't argue that Sony didn't do that. Sony could have went ahead and had joined up with a host of people for tablets and things like that, but Sony made their own, what's it called, a Vio or Vio, whatever it's called. They made their own. So this is what Sony does. Now, I'm not defending Sony. This is what they do. Microsoft does a much more Western type of thing. Another company that does things inside out is Apple. Apple created their own cell phone. Apple created their own tablet. Apple created their own laptop. So and people say, well, how come Apple always talks to Sony? Because they have like-minded features. So you always fellowship and you network with people who have what you got two things in common. Why do you think Rockstar Games and Sony are so close? Rockstar told us Sony likes to sell consoles. We like to sell games. It's a match made in heaven. That is the truth. That is the truth. Come on, man. You know this. All right. That is the truth. Why has CD Projekt Red moved closer to Sony with Witcher 4? Witcher 3 was put out by, I'm not saying put out, I'm sorry. It was marketed by Microsoft. That's who marketed it. Witcher 1 and 2 are on Xbox Gamepass or PC or something like that. So Microsoft is the only company that allows you to play 1, 2, and 3. And if you do that, you got like 22 different outcomes that are possible. For us, if we don't do that, we get a what is known as a canon ending. We get a canon ending. And that's what's the ending. I mean, so this guy became head of this and this woman took over that. So if you didn't choose if you choose it differently, you get a different outcome. We don't have that though on PlayStation with Witcher. We don't have it. So, but getting back to what Corey Massey and Jay Barry and them were talking about, Corey Massey is right in what is called the macro, which is the overall, which is Sony does not care about what you think. Again, I've said this before. All you are to Sony, if you turn on a PlayStation or you have any Sony device in your house, there is a way to register it so that you can get a warranty. Because remember, you got extended warranties and you have the warranty that comes with your device. Sony's warranties, I think, are 1 year. All you got to do is from the time you buy your device, you log on, you get the reference, you get some number off your TV or your PlayStation. You call Sony. Or you go to Sony's website and you register and they give you your 1 year deal, your 1 year warranty. That's all you are to Sony. You actually, what I was hearing from Jay Barry, and I want to make sure I'm only speaking for myself, nobody else. What it sounded like and what it sounds like Jay Barry is saying and Jay Tech is saying and other people are is that I'm gonna, it literally sounded like, and this is the way I took it. I want to make this clear. It sounded like Jay Barry said to Corey at one point, "Would you have bought a PlayStation if you knew they were going to do what they were doing?" And I could have heard that wrong. So at the end of the day, nobody knows. A company that's $1 billion company, they are limber on their feet. They do different things to maintain certain things. And this whole notion of, well, that's what it sounded like. That's the way I took it. Like, well, wait a minute. Is he trying to say that because he couldn't see in the future what Sony was going to do? Is he saying, let me try to rephrase this. Is he trying to say that had Sony disclosed what they're doing right now, that he wouldn't have bought the device? That's the way I took it. And again, what I will say to Jay Barry and any other person who has a PlayStation or any person that has an Xbox or any person that has a Nintendo Switch, if you don't like what the cook is cooking, take your tray back, take your plate back. So again, you don't like what Xbox is doing, why complain about it? Just get rid of your Xbox. I got rid of mine. I wasn't spiteful or vengeful. I went to the store and said, I don't want this thing anymore. This shit's corny. I don't want it. So I got about, I got $2 on this shit pretty much. I got less money than I ever thought, but I got enough to get some games, so I didn't care. So if the Nintendo Switch 2, if you bought it and you don't like it, get rid of it. If the PlayStation isn't doing what you wanted them to do, so to speak, then get rid of it. So the question now becomes, why are the people complaining that have the power to just leave the ecosystem? Just don't bother about it anymore. It ain't hard. What Deion Sanders say, I ain't too hard to find. It's not hard to go ahead and just, sell your shit. Sell it. Sell it. If you don't like it, I'm going to make this clear. If you don't like what the cooks are cooking in the kitchen, you leave the damn kitchen. You leave the restaurant. Go find another restaurant. You said you can post pictures from PlayStation on X. You just can't do it from your... Yeah, and I don't know how to do it. Yeah, Corey, I don't know how to do that. So I got the PlayStation app, and I still don't know how to do that shit. So I just haven't taken the time to do it. So I wish they would bring back that quick function to take the picture, you hit the button, you post it, and you move. You move on. So I just don't get it. If I know somebody that went to the restaurant Whataburger and they didn't like it, so they never went back. They never went back. And that's what you got to do. You don't like the service, you don't go back. You got all these black women mostly complaining about the Carnival Cruise Line. They being racist. Don't go back on the boat. If that's what you think, that the Carnival Cruise Line, which I've been on two Carnival cruises. I've been on 2 Carnival cruises, a Disney cruise and a Princess cruise. Out of all of them, I thought Carnival's boat was, as far as it's a party. It was a floating party. But as you get older, I really enjoyed the Disney cruise. The Disney cruise to me was number one. It was much more laid back. You could sit out on the deck with a couple of drinks and kick back and meet some new people and have fun. I had a good time. The Royal Caribbean cruise, that's the boat I'd rather just be on going forward, because they had a little bit of a party atmosphere, but it didn't have this wild rock the boat type atmosphere. Okay. All right. So back to where I was at. That's what I took, and I'm just speaking for myself. I ain't speaking for nobody else here. Speak for yourself. You're grown-ass men and women. You ain't got to agree. That's fine. I ain't picking no fights or nothing. But what it sounded like Jay Barry was saying was, I've never been to Universal, so I couldn't tell you, is that had he known that PlayStation was going to do what they're doing, he wouldn't have bought a PlayStation. That's what it sounded like. Now, that's the way I took it. I want to make this clear. That's the way I took it. You ain't got to take it this way. I ain't arguing with nobody. It's like lottie-dottie. We like the party. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. We're just the men that's on the mic. And when I'm on the mic, I rocks the mic right. All right. Anyway, but that's what it sounded like to me. So if Jay Barry, or if anybody else, and I want to make this clear, doesn't like what Sony is doing, take your shit to the store and sell it. Give it away. I mean, you can go. Jay Barry lives in New York, I believe. New York, New Jersey. You know how many like shelters that kids are in, orphan shelters, that would love to see you walk up there with your PlayStation and say, here you go, kids, go ahead and play. Or you could take it to St. Luke, because there's kids there that are doing rehab because they've had surgery. And part of the rehab is them playing games. That helps them with their hand-eye coordination. It helps their brain heal because they're processing information. It's actually part of their therapy. Jay Barry could do that. And not just him, anybody. But Corey Massey's point is simply, they don't care that you're online complaining. Like, they don't care. They don't care. Okay? You know, you don't like it, take it back to the store. I mean, why did I buy my PS5 Pro? What have I told you all? When I looked at the deep dive with Mark Cerny, and he's like, oh, you're going to be able to get 4K, or not 4K, you're going to get imaging close to 4K, if not right at 4K, so you're going to get that fidelity that you like. And you're going to get better graphics and better sound and better FPS. And they showed a bunch of first-party games. They did not show no third-party. Maybe they showed one third-party. I can't remember. But they showed a whole bunch of first-party games. And they had a list of games that they kind of did a slow drip on getting them out. They're going to get patches. Which allegedly the PS5 Pro is getting another patch next year. It's going to be... it's supposed to be just as good as FSR 4, which my understanding is going to be a huge leap. I mean, again, I have to wait and see, but I've been told by my source, you all know who my source is, Lou Waffa. He done told me that FSR 4 is going to bring down the house. Now, we have to wait and see, and then we have to wait and see if the games that are on there get updated. We know the first-party stuff is. So if you're a fan of the first-party stuff, you're going to enjoy it. Now, will Stellar Blade get an upgrade? Will, I don't know. Will Ghost of YOTEI? Yes. Will the Star Wars Outlaws get an upgrade? Maybe. Gotta wait for EA to do that, right? Will The Last of Us get an upgrade? Or Last of Us Part 1 and 2 upgrades. God of War upgrade. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, the original Spider-Man. Okay? It is what it is, right? The console war is over. And remember I told you all months ago, not yesterday, not 2 weeks ago, months ago, I said, when the console war ends, you're going to have a group of people online struggling to find something new to talk about. And now I think you're starting to see it. You're starting to see who is having the problem. And so now you can identify who the biggest effing fanboys are. Now you got to make a grown-ass man and woman decision what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. I know what I'm going to do. But that is up to you all. But the way I took what they were saying was that, like, yeah, look, Sony doesn't care about what you think, how you move. All you are to them is a reference number. If you call them up because something's wrong, one of the first things they're going to ask for is what device you got. And once you tell them what device you got, they're going to ask you what that code is. Like, mine is like CE something, something, something. So, I do not know if Chocolate Thunder is going to upgrade. He may need to. He may need to upgrade. Who knows? He couldn't get. I don't know. I mean, he's talking about knocking people out and then going up in them, and then if they wake up, he gonna knock them out again. So he may need to upgrade. I don't know. So just understand that. Understand you got a group of people. It's not everybody. Come on, it's not everybody. You got a group of people who are mad. I mean, I've never seen grown men. These men are in their effing 30s getting upset over what, in this case, Sony's doing, which is fine. They're consumers. They have every right to be upset. But the way I'm Gen X, I'm like, you're going to do something about it then. I want to hear you bitching like a pussy. You don't like something, you take steps as a man to remedy. That's what men do. Women identify problems. Women will take their problems to a man, and that man's job is to solve the effing problem. Honey, my car brakes are squeaking. Okay, I'll take it to the shop. Honey, we don't have nothing in the refrigerator. Okay, I'm going to the store. Honey, honey, our son's not feeling well. Okay, do we need to go to the doctor or wait and see how it plays out? That's what men do. So the next question is, if they're going to complain and get rid of the system, that's all you got to say to them. I mean, you literally just drop that red pill rook on them right there. Motherfucker, go ahead and take your shit back to the store if you're going to bitch like a pussy. Just start saying that to them. And guess what they'll do? That's what they're going to start sounding like. Like that Charlie Brown teacher. Walk, 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 walk. Walk, 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 walk. That's what they're going to start doing. That it is, and I know it. Like, I know it already. I can sense it. I smell these guys. I smell the fear. And it smells like pork chops and Funyuns. So to me, it's obvious. It is obvious. And look, let me make this clear. You can bitch and moan all you want to. All they're going to do is laugh. You think James Gunn is mad because a bunch of Zack Snyder bitch-ass fanboys are complaining that Henry Cavill isn't Superman? Do you think he cares about that? Do you really think he cares about that? Or does he care about producing a good product because he's the boss over at Warner Brothers DC? That's what he cares about. That's what he cares about. Nothing else. Nothing else. I mean, you all got these stupid terms, crashing out, whatever the hell that means, and living my best life, whatever that means. You're talking about something called Clair Obscur, and you tell me it's called Expedition 33. I don't even know what you're talking about. So, what are you all doing out here? What's going on? What has happened to you all that you all can't just make decisions? Okay, honey, the lawnmower's acting up. Okay, I'll go out there and take a look at it. Honey, there's a bee nest over by the porch. I can't go out there and grill. I can't go outside without getting stung. Okay, I'll go out there. I'll get some people over. We'll knock it down. That's what men do. Hey, Sony ain't giving you what you want. In this case, go elsewhere. That's all you got to do. How hard is that? I do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. But for me, the PS5 Pro is exactly what I've been waiting on for a console. If I want anything better, I'll upgrade my PC to like an RDNA 3 card and something like that. Something. Or 5070 is what I'm also looking at. So, which is a fairly inexpensive card. Maybe it's a 5070, 5080, something like that. Fairly inexpensive card I'm looking at. So, I'm just saying, this is what you all got to deal with. That's what you all got to deal with. So, all right, so let's get to the juicy story here. The reason why you're all here, which is, yes, The Last of Us Factions. I should have put 1.5. The Last of Us Factions is coming out. So let me change that there. That should be 1.5. Now, why is it called 1.5? All right, because it's going to take what they did with the first Factions game, and then they're going to take some of the things that were in the second Factions game. And let me see here. Last of Us Factions. There, this is called Factions, right? Last of Us, it's not Last of Us, it's Last of Us Factions. It's going to be 1.5. So again, what they're doing is, what they plan on doing is they plan on bringing back Factions. So that should make all these people that bitched and moaned like a bunch of gay cowboys, that should make them happy, right? That should make them happy. Okay? Jumping up and down like a bunch of Kansas City Cowboys. I don't, mad because that game is gone when all you did was run around the screen and talk about, well, I'm going to go over there and heal him, and then you stand over here and you can shoot. And that's what you were doing. That's what you were doing. All right? So that game is coming back. But because Sony is putting all of its gas games, all of them, on all platforms, they're going to put this Last of Us 1.5. I'm calling it that because I was told by two different people, again, two different sources, that they're going to take The Last of Us Part 1 and then some of the things they have ready for The Last of Us Part 2, that factions version, and they're going to just merge it into one game. So they're not, you're going to have the best of both. They're going to try to get into the game with 1.5, 1.7, and they're going to be pure 2. They're going to be a pure 2. So it is 1.5, 1.7, and that brings the game back. Now, why do you think, and here's what I was told for inference, and I'm not going to really go no further than this. There's a reason why Neil Druckmann is taking there's two reasons Neil is taking a hiatus from The Last of Us TV show. The main one is The Last of Us TV show is not going to start filming until next year. There's really no reason. There's really no reason for him to do it. You also, I'm sure, saw where Neil said, I'm going to oversee a project that's being made by a different team. That's this game that they're doing. He's also more hands-on with Intergalactic. So he can't serve two masters. You can't do the TV thing and do the game thing. You got to do one or the other. So one, production he's doing. Number two, he will be jumping back into Intergalactic, getting more hands-on because that game has reached a stage where it needs more of his input, which is normal. The game's not in trouble. It's just it needs more of his input to push it along. So that's what is happening. So what they're going to do is if Helldivers 2, which is a Sony first-party game that's made by Arrowhead, if that game sells well on Xbox next month, okay, like in 5 weeks or whenever it's coming out, then they are going to start pushing this. And they're going to do it with Marathon. I think we all know that. They're also going to do it with Fair Games, if you didn't know that. And they're going to do it with the Horizon Zero Dawn MMO. If that game comes out, if Guerrilla makes that game, and Guerrilla's got a huge studio, that game, because it's going to be online only. There's going to be no single player. You're just going to be out there doing whatever they got you doing. That game will also be on Xbox, and there's a very good chance it will be on Nintendo. One reason they wanted to introduce Aloy to Nintendo, this whole thing of, well, they were supposed to sell 3 million copies. Well, that would have been nice, but it was more or less, here's an introduction to this character. Here's an introduction to some of her cool friends, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're doing. It's called setting the table. Okay, this was chess. I would be moving this, and Sony's moving those pieces around. So now I don't know what Sony's metric of success of Helldivers 2 on Xbox is. I don't know. Will it sell, 150,000 copies, a million copies, 1.1 million, 600? I don't know. I have no idea. So with the Last of Us game, I need to caveat this as well. The Last of Us 1.5 game, it will be $49.99 on Steam. It'll be $49.99 on the Epic Store. It will also be $49.99 on the Xbox Store. However, the people who have PlayStation Plus, if you have Ultimate, is it Ultimate or the highest tier, whatever that's called, you will get this game on the house. This will be gratis for you. So again, the game will go elsewhere. And then they're going to just put the game into PlayStation. I want to make this clear. Plus, whatever it is, the highest level, whatever the umpteenth level is, that's where it will go. It will be free. If you got the other level, you ain't going to play it. It will not be in that level. You're going to have to pay the cost to be the boss. Got to do it. You can say, nah, baby, I ain't gonna be able to do. You can say that as well. I can only drink the Gatorade Zero Orange. Like the rest of it is just, I can't do it. Can't do it. So right now, we got a few more minutes here. Let me go ahead and turn the music on, but turn it down. You all were complaining last time. I can't hear it though. I can hear it now, barely. Let me put it right there. Hopefully that's not too loud. So that's not too loud. But if you got any questions, comments, concerns, let's go ahead and have them. Make sure you get the likes up. So do I think Sony will acquire Arc System Works? I'm not sure. I do know the studio that they're really looking to get their hands on at this point is CD Projekt Red. They're really talking to CD Projekt Red right now. I also have a poll up. Pause. Will you buy Factions 1.5 for Xbox or PlayStation? 88% say you're going to buy it. But remember, on PlayStation, it's going to be on Plus, so you don't have to worry about it. So 12% of the Xbox are going to get the one-man army and play. Okay, so you're going to be paying for it. So that's Xbox, PC, you're going to pay. That's the news right now. Where is it coming from? My source, it is pretty damn accurate, okay? Pretty damn accurate. So got two of them that are pretty damn accurate. So let's see here. I mean, you all got to put two and two together. Neil Druckmann going on hiatus from the show. Again, it's not bad because the show ain't till next year. He did not tell you what that second project was, did he? That he was overseeing with another, group of developers. Did he say what that was? No, this is what it is. It's what it is. So, Corey Massey's in the house. What is going on, Corey Massey? So, Destiny said it's called Premium. Okay, all right, So, Premium apparently it's going to be free. It's going to be free or heavily discounted or something like that. I heard they want it to be free. There's movement there. Could be up to $19.99. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see here. Mary Wilcox is here. What is going on? Mary Wilcox is in the house. Oh, Nexus Chronicle. I didn't see you, brother. He says he'd be amazed if Helldivers 2 sells well on Xbox. Well, again, what? We're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out. So, Lucy Skies says, add me to the Discord. Well, just go to the Discord. Add yourself. I still had trouble adding people. If somebody's got the thing to the Discord, just go ahead and put it in the chat. So I still can't do that. Like whatever I'm doing, it won't let me copy it and do it. So, but all this stuff is going to be in my Discord. So I'm breaking it to you first. I'm gonna put it in my Discord when we're done. So, let's see here. PlayStation customers should get benefits, and that's what I meant. I guess Factions 2 for free. Well, it's not Factions 2. It's going to be Factions 1.5. So, and it will be on. And again, like all the other live service games, this is a decision that they have made. All their live service games will be on Xbox and possibly Nintendo, depending on the theme of the game. So, because Nintendo still likes to protect their customers. They got a lot of kids playing in that ecosystem. Kids, I'm talking about 5-year-olds to 9-year-olds that can be influenced. So, fair games, probably not. Marathon is a maybe. So, Helldivers 2 successful on the Xbox. What's the title to appear single? They're not doing single player. That's already been asked and answered. While they did this a week and a half ago. Just go look at their statement. That's all you got to do. They're not going to do any single player games on Xbox. They're not. They will do these multi online games. So they want the MMO, the Horizon MMO, to be their version of Elder Scrolls or Warcraft. They think that Helldivers can be their own version of what's the name of that game? Shoot, Fortnite. Am I saying that right? Fortnite, Fort Pub, whatever it's called. They think it has that type of potential. And the way our Rocket League took off, was what? When it was on PlayStation and crossplay with PC, then they brought it to Xbox, they crossplayed it with everybody. That's what they're doing. Right? Again, console war is over. Over. Done. Knit. Alto. Stop. It's done. It's over. So, Lucian Sky says, bots about to find out HD2 way more fun than Gears. Well, that's opinion. Again, what's odd is that both those games are dropping the same day. So you're going to have all these quote unquote ponies buying Gears, and then you're going to have all these quote unquote bots buying Helldivers. So it's going to be definitely interesting, that's for sure. So, let's see here. What else you got here? Nobody's asking a ton of questions here. Nobody's asking a ton of questions. Jenna Hayes in the house. Oh, said it. Sony made a parody of Ghost of YOTEI we call Ghost of YOTEI. So, again, to me, I would think that the people that wanted factions to come back, guess what? It's coming back. Got your wish. Wish granted. Wish granted. So, let's see here. Fighting games and with them behind Token and Sony being behind Evo. So, yeah, that is a good fit. It is. That's why I know CD Projekt Red things Sony wants. That's their wet dream. What they really are starting to focus on, again, I've said this before, is WB games and animation. I had a lot of people saying, well, again, this is how dumb people are. They're saying, well, you're trying to say they're trying to buy WB. I'm like, no. They're trying to, after WB splits, then Sony has made a soft inquiry to buy animation and the games. But so has Apple, so has NVIDIA, so has Netflix. Netflix wants to Netflix has cartoons on it. It does. Netflix has cartoons. Amazon has cartoons. Right? So y'all gotta remember that. Stop acting stupid. Theme new update on Helldivers. Oh, is it an update? Okay. Yeah, that's that. I didn't even know that. Look. I didn't even know Sony had live themes. So I put, I forgot what I got on it. Like the Stellar Blade one was I thought the Stellar Blade one, that was kind of, I thought it would have like all of them. I thought it was going to have all three of them on the screensaver. It didn't, though. Very, very disappointing. What think of Sony getting back EverQuest? That used to be a Sony MMO. Are they trying to get it back? Are you asking me, should they get it back, or are they actively trying to get it back? EverQuest, yeah. EverQuest was part of that big MMO push in the, early 90s. I remember World of Warcraft in 1997. I was playing that. And that game caused divorces because you would have to take a whole Saturday and put your crew together and say, okay, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. we're gonna game. And that's in the 90s. It was a lot easier for me. Now it is harder to do. It is harder to do for me personally. How come every time it's a woman main protagonist, people hate on it? I don't think the majority hate on it. I think it's just a bunch of stupid ass people that have a microphone and they can all link up and it makes one man seem like 100. So it is what it is. Hard rock heavy, is it true? That's an open-ended statement. What is true? So he's working on the DS2 Platinum. He beat the game already, but it's got a lot of really long trophies to get. All right, yeah. Like I said, I'm on the, what is it called? The USS Magellan. I still don't know how, you all told me that, what's her name? I keep wanting to call that girl Quiet. Fragile. Her skin is healed. At least her arms are. I ain't seen the rest of her body. So I got to wait and see how that works. So, J-Tech doesn't like Ghost of YOTEI for that reason. Yeah, he says the game is woke. So again, I don't even know what that means. Like, there are female shinobi that I mean, people, you go to Japan, they know about them. So to me, they did a game with a dude. Now they doing it with a girl. It should play differently. So you know, because she should not be able to just overpower people. So I think it's going to be a lot more stealth. We'll find out on Thursday though, because if she's out there just outright open fighting, that would be pretty hokey. But if they're gonna say her stealth is top notch and the player can build upon her stealth, the way she stealths things down, I'm for that. I will be behind that 100%. And I'm buying the game. I've already bought the game. You know, when you all told me, hey, look, they're not gonna take the money out of your account until within 72 hours of the game. I'm like, okay. He don't even know what that means. Probably don't. Probably doesn't, Mary. Metroid is woe. Yeah, didn't Metroid have a female? One of the Metroids did. Like, I guess when you beat the game, she got out of the thing. The person got out of the thing, and it was a girl. People are like, oh, it's a girl. So the console war, yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for over a year. Console war's over. It's just that when you have people, it's like, I don't know if you all, I compared it to Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country, where the humans, the Klingons, and I want to keep saying the Ferengi, but it wasn't the Ferengi. It was the humans and the oh man, I can't think of the name. If you watch Star Trek, who are the cousins of the Vulcans? What are they called again? Hold on, let me type that in here. Who are the cousins of Vulcans? Romulans. Yeah, so the Romulans, the humans, and it was Romulans, it was humans, and the Klingons all conspired together to start a war because they knew if there was an everlasting peace that their militaries would take the hit and they wouldn't get as much funding and money. That's what J-Tech reminds me of. As you know, it's almost like he's got to try to find something or else there's nothing for him to talk about. Console war is over. So, it's what it is. Said this girl, yeah, you got black fatigue, now you got girl boss fatigue. Well, remember, those studios, they went out and they asked women, what would it take to help you all get into playing video games? And they all said, well, if you had more female protagonists, maybe we could get behind it. So, and that's what they started doing. So, says, what now, Corey? Do you, if I show PlayStation my Death Stranding 2 Platinum, that they will listen? There you go. I said that yesterday, that Sony will not put Helldivers 2 on Xbox, but you all got to show your trophies. Y'all got to start showing your trophies. That's all I can say. Let's party up on Gears of War. Yeah, I mean, once I beat the campaign, I will be playing online. Yeah, I'm buying that for the campaign because Gears 1's campaign was so good. So we have to wait and see if they've changed the mechanics on it, because I heard Crap Gamer, shout out to Crap Gamer, talking about the mechanics on it is just old and feels clunky. So I have to wait and see if they change it. They might not change it. I have to wait and see. So Chris Coleman says he remembers playing the EverQuest Next at E3 before it was canceled. PlayStation had gold. It was MMO, the building of Minecraft. Players built and run towns, stores similar to him. Yeah, I mean, again, look, Sony can bring, if it's a Sony game, should they look to bring it back as an MMO? Yeah, they should. Get the lights up, people. Get the lights up. So, it says Stellar Blade OST is goated. Yeah, Stellar Blade's a good game. I'm playing that right now, too. Wait, it's factions happening. Right now, they've got it in what is called a slingshot. So if Helldivers 2 does well, then there's a very good chance that factions will come out. But if it comes out, it will be on all platforms. PC, Xbox, and of course PlayStation. If you have a PlayStation and you have the Ultimate or Premium, I was calling it Ultimate earlier. If you have the Premium version of this, PlayStation Plus, it will be free or at a drastic discount, like 18, 17 bucks for you, or free. If you're buying it on Xbox, it's going to be $49.99 is what I was told. PC, Steam, $49. Maybe Epic gets a discount because Sony and Epic are partners. So maybe Epic gets it off for $43 or something like that. If you buy it early, maybe they can get it to $39. But that's all. Those vectors of payment. That's all. They're still working on everything. But green lighting it, it's gonna have to take Helldivers 2 doing well so that Sony can actually see porting games to Xbox. And again, a game, when you gotta remember, Xbox with that mobile shit that they're doing, people just playing on the bus, playing in their cars when you're playing, you're going somewhere, not you're driving and playing, but you know what I mean. You're playing the passenger princess, you're in the back seat, you're playing the game. And so that's what they're doing. Again, the console war is done. The console war is over. So all you people that you listen to that were console warring, done. Sony does not even consider, again, Microsoft doesn't consider Sony a competitor. They consider them a partner. And Microsoft wants Sony to move into that mode. So, Microsoft is, throwing all the games at them. Oh, they're going to come day and date. Oh, we're going to take advantage of your PlayStation 5 Pro. Oh, we're going to do, I mean, that's what we're doing now. Microsoft canceled Perfect Dark. Yeah, that sucked. I don't like any game being canceled. I hate it unless I can play. The girl boss is a term used by simp men who cannot handle a strong. Well, again, women aren't supposed to be strong and independent. So, matter of fact, we know they cannot be. So, at least in the United States, I don't know about where everybody else is. They are. These women are having trouble at this point in the United States. So, Gap Band or Cool in the Gang. Actually, the Gap Band kind of made Cool in the Gang turn into an R&B band. I don't know if you all know that. Gap Band and Daz Band, because Cool in the Gang used to be a funk band. They did that song. Go back and listen to Jungle Boogie. That's a funk song. So, if Bungie greenlit. Concord was already in the shoot. When they bought that studio, that game was being made. That's the game they were making. That game was coming out no matter what. Y'all got to know the history here. So, know your history. So, same for Ninja Gaiden. That is not a first-party game. Okay, cool. So, it's a good thing Naughty Dog canceled Factions and not Bungie. Yeah, it was Naughty Dog and Bungie together, but this way everybody gets what they claim they want. Sony gets a bigger impact on sale, which is what they want. And the ponies who were mad as hell that this game was canceled, the game comes out for them to play. Everybody wins. All right? Everybody wins. Nobody gets what they want, but everybody gets a little bit of what they need. All right? And that Mick Jagger, a man much more wiser than me, said that. He said, you can't always get what you want. But sometimes you get what you need. Remember that. All right, with that said, I'm going to bounce off of here. 60 frames, no lag, about an hour from now. Make sure you tune in to that Porter Rocks channel. We're going to rock it out for you. And you all take it easy. Make sure you just keep playing the games and, make sure you use sunscreen. Deuces.